Hey guys, what is up? It is No Help and welcome back to another video today. So today we have a new Slayer boss being announced, the Araxxor. Is that how you pronounce that? Maybe it's wrong. It sounds like the Araxxor or whatever it was from RS3. But anyways, Arachnophobias, beware of our latest boss. Has 8 legs and a whole lot of scares to share. If that title sounds familiar, you've either been around a really long while or you happen to play Runescape too. The arachnoid antagonist arrived in our sister game almost a decade ago. That's kind of crazy that it's actually been that long because I remember this boss coming out. Where he resides is in an aptly named Araxxor hive beneath the haunted woods. That's where the similarities end. We're afraid this is not a backport of the RuneScape boss. We've given the old cobbler's nightmare a all-new, old-school spin, and today you're getting your first look. We've been waiting to add Arraxor since the release of A Night at the Theater. You'll have encountered Araxxor there during a segment where you obtained some strange spider's eggs. I don't really remember this, but it's been a very long time since I've done that quest. Although some of the eagle-eyed among you already figured out that these weren't spiders at all. With Araxxor and their cobweb cave in place, all that remained was to add an enormous spider to bring the whole thing together. Here it is. So I'm not sure if I'm actually pronouncing that right at all. I think I'm just going to maybe call it Arraxor for the rest of the video because, yeah, I don't know if it's Araxxor. I really don't know. Perhaps the most significant way our Arraxor diverges from his RuneScape counterpart is that we're not setting out to make him too challenging. Instead, we're offering him as a new Slayer boss, which requires 92 Slayer and an Araxxor task to tackle. So you need the actual task to actually kill the boss, similar to, say, like Hydra. I can't think of another one, like Abyssal Sire. Instead, we're offering him, okay. His lower level buddies will also count towards the task if you're not interested in the bossing mood. So that's really cool, and I like that finally we're getting some higher level content. It seems for the past like 5-6 months it's all been like lower level, which I can't really complain about, but it's cool to see something at the high level. So this is what the spider's gonna look like. Very cool, and I guess that's how he dies, or that's his death animation or something. Slayer bosses can be tricky, as we've learned with our last offering, the alchemical Hydra. They need to be interesting enough to feel engaging without being so tricky that they become a boring grind. Of course, they also need to reward you for all the time you've spent leveling Slayer so far. As is customary, we're not divulging every mechanic Arraxor has up his many sleeves, but we will give you a little taste of the battle to come. Right up front, we want to assure you that Arraxor is not as tough as the Awakened, Desert Treasure 2 bosses, or the Fortis Coliseum, thank God, right? Instead, you'll control the difficulty of the fight yourself. Choose to deal proactively with Arraxor's minions before they hatch, and you'll have an easier but slower time. Set them loose and you'll kill Arraxor faster, but only if you survive their onslaught. The choice is up to you. I like how they give you an option. The fight features all the mechanics you'd expect from a big old spider, smaller spiders, venomous acid, ferocious fangs, and more legs than you can count. It's a melee-focused encounter. Unfortunately, we haven't yet released any oversized boots, so you'll have to settle for the next best spider splatter. Okay. To say any more would reveal too much, but we're confident that we're delivering a fight that's smooth, easy to grind, and satisfying to master. Kind of if it's exactly like Hydra, that's awesome, like the smoothness of Hydra, you know. We can, however, tell you about the treasures lurking in Arraxor's lair, so let's see the rewards. The spoils. So broadly speaking, boss rewards are split up into untradables, consumables, and unique equipment. Arraxor has something in all 3 categories, so we'll work our way through them in that order. So untradeable rewards, our first untradeable is the Araxxor head. This is essentially an Arraxor themed equipment of the Calphite Queen or Hydra head, and its primary use is in creating a Slayer helmet that'll send your enemies scurrying for cover. So this is what it's going to look like. I actually am a huge fan of that. I think it looks very cool with the orange and then like kind of the green fangs coming in here. Definitely an upgrade over the base one. In the real world, a waist hide spider following you around would be cause for concern. In old school RuneScape, however, we love all kinds of pets, and after beating Arraxor, you may just walk away with a buggy buddy of your own. This not so scary spider looks equal parts angry and drop dead adorable. That is true. And we can't wait to give him a cuddle, maybe. Okay, so this is going to be the pet. I really do like, is this what it might look like in the inventory? Maybe. And this is what the pet will look like. We've already got a couple spider pets in the game, but more the merrier, really. Our final untradeable is the Jar of Venom, which might seem a bit odd because all of our other jar items have been tradable. This puts them in a weird spot of being rare, quote-unquote flex cosmetics that you can purchase for a relatively inconsequential price. And for the Jar of Venom, we want to try something a bit more exclusive. I like that idea. I mean, I'm mainly playing Ironman, so it doesn't really affect me too much, but I always thought the jars being tradable was a little weird. In fact, that's our thinking for all three of these untradables, which will appear in 3 tiers of rarity. The most common will be the Araxxor head, followed by the uncommon Jar of Venom, and the rarest, most prestigious reward will be the pet, the Arraxor pet, of course. We're curious to hear what you think of this proposal, so be sure to send your feedback through all the usual channels. If opinion seems divided about what we should and shouldn't be, or what should and shouldn't be untradeable, we're open to adding an extra poll question to accommodate. All right. Okay, so we've got consumable rewards. After all that pet hunting, you're going to want a snack or at least something to sell for your efforts. Everything in this section is tradable, so should add consistent profit to your spider slaying adventures. First up is the Araxxor Venom Gland. Believe it or not, this is consumable and will deal 4 venom damage while curing and providing 20 seconds of immunity to venom. It may be gross, but it's a nice trick to have in your back pocket when you're trying to extend a trip to Arraxor without banking to grab more anti-venom plus potions. Incredibly, the Venom Gland can also be used to brew an extended anti-venom plus potion at level XX Herblore. I really like this because 1, it's useful for the boss, and 2, it actually adds some more Herblore content to the game. So a regular anti-venom plus potion provides 3 minutes of immunity to venom per dose. As you might expect, the extended anti-venom extends this to 6 minutes per dose. This means that you'll be able to store a whopping 24 minutes of venom immunity in a single inventory slot. That's really good, obviously making it the perfect addition to your Arraxor loadout. I'm also thinking things like Zulrah will be really good. We'll also throw some teleport scrolls so that you can get yourself back to Arraxor quickly after banking. These will be a fairly common drop, so getting comfortable with the fight and extending your trip should result in you obtaining more scrolls than you need. How convenient. Yeah, I mean, Zulrah, it's one of those things too, where if you camp it enough, you get enough scrolls to just teleport there. It can be very nice, especially for like Ironman and stuff. Okay, so unique equipment rewards. Saving the best for last, we have a section of unique rewards with their own headings, even. Crafted from bits of Arraxor himself, the specific body parts are yet to be decided, but hopefully you'll get the gist. So Arania boots, is that how you say that? Arania boots. So these are nice looking boots. They kind of look like the typical Jordan boots. They're black though, which is cool. These unconventional kicks are set to be crafted from a somewhat rare drop. They offer some serviceable tribal stats, but come with an added ability which grants occasional immunity to spider web. So they're going to be used for actually camping spiders, or this boss specifically. So let's take a quick look at them. A +2 melee strength and a +5 attack magic and +6 range. Very weird stats, but if they do provide that immunity to spider webs, they could be huge, and they do look cool. Wonder what the price of these will be. Assuming you haven't negated the effects of a spider web in the last 10 seconds, the Arania boots will grant you immunity to the next web that you walk on. This could mean avoiding a punishing mistake against Verzik, saving some run energy at Venetals, or perhaps preventing Arachnis blinding web. So yeah, it's useful in a bunch of different scenarios, so these boots might be really good. This may not be the most impactful drop, but we thought it was on theme, niche, and welcome addition to the loot table. Not every unique needs to be a game changer. Yeah, exactly. I like that, because some are very good in certain scenarios, but they won't really change the game. You know, it's not like a new twisted bow or something. Here we go, the Noxious halberd. So I think Noxious was part of the weapons that Arraxxor dropped in RS3. So this is what it looks like right here. The trusty halberd. Long gone are the days when we watched enviously as our elven trap dogging friends safe spotted to Czars over vents. Now these lengthy weapons are more likely to be found moldering in an elk pile, only seeing sunlight to deliver the odd special attack or two. That is very true. How often do people use halberds in the game? It's time to change that with the Noxious halberd. We're offering up a halberd whose primary use is in a DPS weapon. So let's take a quick look at this. 82 attack, you need to equip it. It has a +132 to slash, +80 attack bonus, and a +142 melee strength, and has an attack rate of 5. Not the fastest weapon in the game, but I mean, it is like a halberd, right? And I believe halberds can attack multiple enemies. So its special attack cures you of any poison or venom. Can be very nice just to take with you somewhere. Buffs your next accuracy, or your next attack's accuracy and damage by a percentage based on how severely poisoned you were. So I guess being venomed might help you in that sense. Special effects has a 33% chance to inflict your target with venom, increased to 50% when used alongside the serpentine helmet. So is this going to be even in PvP? Because that's massive. Whoa, that's a lot of numbers for context. The Noxious halberd has similar DPS to the Blade of Salador. It's a 5-tick attack speed, means it scales worse with gear than the 4-tick blade, so it won't be best in slot. Okay, so fair enough. On top of its raw stats, you'll have a 33% chance per swing to inflict venom on your target, assuming it isn't immune, which increases to 50% chance when used in conjunction with a serpentine helmet. So I can see this being really good. You like stab something a couple of times and it gets poisoned or venomed, and then you switch out, say, Blade of Salador or a whip or whatever you want to use. I like that. All this means the Noxious halberd packs a pretty punch, but also sports a special attack. We still intend for it to be a DPS focused rather than a spec weapon, but the special will round out the halberd's utility and hopefully add an extra use case or two. For 60% of your special attack energy, you can cure any poison or venom you're inflicted with and increase your next attack's accuracy and damage by that percentage. For example, if you're about to hit a 20 venom damage, you can use the special attack to cure yourself and boost your next attack accuracy and damage by 20%. Okay, so if you were to be hit for a 20 venom. Okay, so I see how that works now. Okay, so how valuable is the halberd's extra attack range? Since this is a unique feature of the weapon, it's harder to compare than a simple strength or slash bonus. It could make all the difference in Verzik's second phase, or when staying farther away from a burning teammate in the Great Olm's chamber. Interesting, never even thought about that. We want to know where you would be excited to make use of the halberd that puts the unique in the unique weapon drop. I definitely want to get this. I think it would be a fun weapon to use overall. The Amulet of Rancor rancor. I don't know how to pronounce this. Next, we have the Amulet of Rancor, which supersides the Amulet of Torture as the best in-slot melee amulet and will be a rare drop from Arraxxor. Compared to the other amulet slot offerings, Torture wasn't that far ahead of the Fury, so there's plenty of room to upgrade. So, oh god, we got a new best in slot. So I'm assuming, does that mean it requires 90 hit points, a plus 12 melee strength, plus 20, plus 20, plus 20, and a plus 2 prayer? Very cool. Okay, so compared to the Amulet of Torture, the Amulet of Rancor offers a plus 5 slash, stab, and crush accuracy, and farther plus 2 strength bonus, which may increase the max hit in some setups, in a lot of setups. The only requirement to equip this nifty necklace is a hefty 90 hit points, which is a stretch beyond the requirements for Zenyte jewelry. Yeah, I mean, true, but it's a lot better. It's going to be best in slot, right? While many of you will be able to buy and trade these, we know irons are interested to know how they'll make one. The Zenyte amulet, from which the Amulet of Torture can be made, requires a whopping 98 crafting, which doesn't leave a lot of room for a requirement increase. Instead, the crafting requirement for the Amulet of Rancor will be in the 80s, since we expect it's easier to work with these squishy spider parts than a precious gemstone. Okay, interesting. I mean, it's good for Iron Man accounts that will camp these out. Yeah, I'm really excited for Arraxxor. Now, there is like a little survey that you can do, kind of like to fill out and see what you think about it. I'm not going to be doing it in this video because it's already getting very long, but yeah, I'm, like I said, very excited for this. I think it's something that should be in the game. It's one of the RS3 pieces of content that people really liked, and if they can kind of implement that and make it an old school twist and make it old school, you know what I mean, a very interesting boss, I really think the community will like this, and we need a new Slayer boss, man, especially if the last one was Hydra. Yeah, we really need a new Slayer boss. I'm excited. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. I will catch you in the next one. See ya later.